What's up guys? Today we're going to be looking at the $35 RUIXIN PRO fixed angle knife sharpening system from Amazon. Now my original video edit review on this thing was around 12 and a half or 13 minutes, and I thought that was way too much time to spend on this unit. So in this video I'm only going to give you the things that I think that you need to know if you're looking at this system. First off, the stones. They aren't good. They are so not good that I wasn't actually able to sharpen a single knife with these stones. They are super soft and dish out after only a handful of passes. I tried them with oil, like the directions say, and only made a giant mess while they continued to not work that well. I tried others in water with the same results. Basically, they aren't good. These aren't cutting that well. You would think 120 grit would just blaze through this. Now, after realizing that these stones were just not good, I researched to see if I was the only one or if others had the same issue. And it turned out that my friend Steve over at Beetle, go check out his channel, I'll link it below, had the same issues with the system.
These stones are they're cheap.
When I looked at them under a microscope, it seemed to me that there's basically no binder holding the abrasive grit together. Therefore, it just falls apart. They're just way too soft to hold together for any type of decent steel removal. Now, one nice thing about the system is it will take the aluminum-backed 1" by 6" stones commonly available from many different manufacturers. So you're not stuck with proprietary stones from a given manufacturer like some other systems. Keep in mind, though, that in many cases, a single quality stone will cost more than the $35 this entire system costs. Now, while the base, blade clamp, and blade rotation all seem surprisingly sturdy, the blade clamp itself is relatively limited in its use. It is only really designed for larger knives up to about 9.5 inches in length. If you're looking at blades under 4 inches, you may have problems depending on the curvature of the blade you're trying to sharpen. Smaller blades or EDC type knives are probably going to be a no-go here. You see, you can't sharpen that right there with it buried into the clamp. That's a problem. The stone hits the jaw. Since the blade clamp itself interferes with sharpening certain parts of the blade on smaller knives. Now, you can angle the smaller blades in the clamp in order to reach those areas, but that presents other problems since you can't reliably reclamp the blade in that exact same place every time you remove it, which means essentially you're reprofiling or changing the angle every time you remove and replace the blade in the blade clamp. Since the angle of the blade is slanted in the jaws, which depending on how slanted it is, changes the sharpening angle. I know that was probably super confusing, but you're just gonna have to trust me on that. And if we're talking about really small knives, you can pretty much forget it because, well, you get the idea. Now, there's also no angle indicator marks anywhere, which means that you're going to have to use some sort of angle finder to get specific angles, as well as making sure that the angle is relative to the clamp and not the flat surface it's clamped to get an accurate sharpening angle. Now, this system is surprisingly sturdy. The clamp is rock solid, the guide rod slides smoothly, the jaws do clamp very well on the knife, and the blade rotation is fast and reliable. In my opinion, this system would be much more usable if the blade clamp size was reduced to allow sharpening for smaller blades. I don't see that impacting sharpening larger knives up to 9.5 inches either, since a single clamp design isn't great with larger knives in the first place. So you're not giving up much in that regard by reducing the size of the blade clamp to accommodate those smaller knives. Basically, for $35 here, you're getting a good base and nothing else. You'll still need quality stones to sharpen knives efficiently and effectively. Now, I'll be honest here, my overall thoughts on this are simply based on the fact that I really wasn't able to sharpen a single knife, and that's largely due to the fact that these stones they're just not good whatsoever. So what are my overall thoughts? Well, it's tricky because in and of itself, it's not that good since I wasn't able to really sharpen a knife with what's included in this package. It's just like not removing any material. However, if you already have 1" by 6" stones laying around from freehand sharpening, then it's not that bad, but you still have the clamp issues to deal with. Honestly, my overall opinion is if just a couple of small things were changed and modified on this system, it could actually be a pretty good unit for not a lot of money.